Hi, welcome to Shalom, Ottawa. My name is Benita Simiotiki, and our first segment today, we're going to be learning about a new initiative launched by the Ottawa Jewish Community Foundation, and I'd like to welcome Lynne Oreck-Wener to our show. Hi, Lynne.
Hi.
Lynne is the founder and chair of something called the Women's Collective Philanthropy Program, and you're here to talk about it today.
Mm-hmm.
Lynne, what is the Women's Collective Philanthropy Program?
Okay. The Women's Collective Philanthropy Program is housed in the Ottawa Jewish Community Foundation. And what we do is we empower, engage, and educate women through a fund called the Women's Collective Endowment Fund. So all that we do is driven by our goals: educate, empower, and engage both women who donate to the fund and women who will be recipients of the funds. It is a fund that is created for women and their children and by women donating to the fund.
So the fund is the fundraising part,
Right.
if I understand correctly.
Right.
And it raises the money to do your other support programs that are part of the program?
Well, it's twofold. Because it's an endowment, this is meant to go on in perpetuity.
Mm-hmm.
So we will use the interest accrued from the amount of money that we have raised. So part of the money will be to put on the programs that we're doing, and the other part is that we will have a grant, and people will apply for 1, 2, or 3 grants depending on how rich our fund becomes.
Mm-hmm.
And that will be to lift women up and to help them and their children. There's many funds, women's endowment funds throughout North America, and they do things like they can send girls to B'nai B'rith camps, kosher dishes for women's shelters for abused women. There's many things, computers for a woman and her family if they don't have a computer. Could be paratranspo, Holocaust survivors having caregivers because sometimes they're more nervous about who might come into their home. So it's wide open, and that's why we want to be incredibly accessible and inclusive so that we can find out what is needed in our community and start filling some of the gaps.
And does the money always stay within the Ottawa community?
Our first phase is yes, it will stay within the Ottawa community. Should we end up very happily with a great deal more money, then we would be able to send it outside the community or partner, some of the endowments partner and give to sister agencies that may not be for Jewish women.
Who's eligible to apply for the funding?
Anybody.
Anybody?
Anybody. Any Jewish woman for herself, her children. Agencies, it could be for an education program, a dating violence program in the Jewish schools or the supplementary schools. Yeah.
How long has this existed?
We launched in January 2011.
Okay. And you were the brainchild behind it.
I was. It was on my mind for many, many years.
Yeah, I was wondering why. Like, what prompted you to do this?
I'm passionate about women's issues and working for and with women. And when I was asked to sit on the board of the Ottawa Jewish Community Foundation, the stipulation was if I can explore women's philanthropy in a bit of a different way in terms of the money going to women and their children. So that was seen as very positive and one of the goals that the foundation was looking to achieve. So it was a perfect fit. And it just fit with my professional life and my personal life and my passion.
And in your professional life,
I'm a social worker.
You're a social worker, so you have that background to be knowledgeable about these issues.
Right, exactly.
Okay. Yeah. So can you give us an idea, obviously not naming anybody, but can you give us an idea of what types, some examples of real life situations of what has been funded through the fund? Okay,
so we last year decided not to give out any grant money because we hadn't, right now we have $27,000 and 47 members. So maybe I'll start there and just tell you how you get into the foundation, the fund. We started with asking founders for $500 each. And then that opened up the circle so that we could be accessible and inclusive, and women could give $100 to become members. And it can be given over time. Other women gave $200, other women gave $1,000, $5,000. So we've had a whole variety. And it's really based on women's individual capacity or what they feel they can give. So due to that, we didn't feel that we had enough money to really make a
Okay.
significant, because remember, it's the interest accrued.
Yeah. Okay, so you're still in the collection phase at this point.
Exactly. We're hoping to get to 50,000 within the year, and then we would be able to have money to be able to give out for a grant.
And I imagine anybody, you would accept donations from anybody?
Anybody.
Okay.
And we also have now a tribute card program, so we're raising money through that.
Okay.
One of our committee members is a family doc and an artist, and she took a photograph of one of her paintings, and that became our tribute card.
Wow.
So we have raised significant money from people giving the cards for whatever occasion or whatever reason.
Okay, excellent. I know that you have events, I guess fundraising events as well, as part of your program, right?
Well, actually we don't. Our events are to educate and empower
so
women.
they're not part of raising
So we
any
charge
funds.
$10, but if you can't afford the $10, you're absolutely welcome to come. And really the $10 is to cover the coffee and the cookies. But our whole goal is to be able to look at what's needed and what topics would women be interested in hearing about, and out of that might flow a grant. We've identified an issue that people want filled.
You have an event coming up early in November. Can you talk about that?
Sure. It's called Pearls of Wisdom, and the title is quite long, and maybe you have it in front of you so that you can tell us.
I know it's about the nature of changing family dynamics.
Exactly. So basically what we do is our ideas stem from our women who've joined the collective, and they come up with things that they might want to have conversations about. And when I was speaking to some women as founders, and 3 women from different walks of life, because some people will say, oh, my friend wants to join, and then I'll have a conversation with them. And they talked about wanting to have the conversation that entailed interfaith, intercultural, same-sex relationships. And how do we explore that within the boundaries and be inclusive in our Jewish community? And what defines our community? So we'll have 4 panelists, and really nobody's an expert. They're just sharing their experience, opening the conversation. Grandmothers are talking about, what do we do with our grandchildren, and how are we respectful of our daughter-in-laws or our son-in-laws, or one woman will speak about how she became more religious and presenting that to her parents, and how her parents dealt with that and moved on with her.
And these are all the presenters are women from the
all local women.
Jewish community.
Yes.
Okay, and it's happening on November 4th?
Right, at 4 o'clock at the Soloway Jewish Community Center.
Okay. So we could put on the screen how people can get tickets
That would be wonderful.
Information about it.
Okay.
I just wanted to ask quickly, the collective, can anyone join the collective? Is that open?
The collective is open forever, and it's $100 minimum, but that can be over time. So it can be smaller payments over time.
Okay, well, this has been really interesting, actually. One last question is, when you talk about the events you'll be holding in the future, is it one per year that you do?
Right now we're doing one in the spring.
Okay. And do they always have a women focus?
Yes,
I'm imagining they
Our
do.
next one actually might be a book launch, and the Pearls will probably be once a year, and then we might have other events.
Okay.
Our next one will be Financial Literacy 101.
We can all use some of that.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, Lynn, thank you very much for coming in, and I wish you the best of luck at your event in November, and also just ongoing. It's a great idea.
Thank you.
Please stay tuned, and we'll be right back. Hi, welcome back to Shalom, Ottawa. I'd like to welcome our next guest now. Sarah Beutel is the Federation's coordinator of the Shoah Committee, and Sarah's working hard on the upcoming Holocaust Education Month this November. And welcome, Sarah.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming in. I know that this year Holocaust Education Month is honoring Raoul Wallenberg.
Yes.
Why did the committee decide to honor him this year?
Many communities across North America are honoring Raoul Wallenberg because this year marks 100 years since his birth in 1912. And because of that, we decided to honor him.
So I didn't know actually that other communities are doing the same thing. So was this like a coordinated effort?
Not so much coordinated effort, but because of the significance of this year with regards to Raoul Wallenberg, many communities are doing that. And one of the events that we have this year is an exhibit brought to us by the Swedish Embassy. And that exhibit is actually traveling to other communities as well to mark Holocaust education programs in other communities.
For anyone who doesn't know, can you explain who Raoul Wallenberg was and what he's known for?
Raoul Wallenberg was a Swedish diplomat, and during the Second World War, he went to great lengths to save tens of thousands of Jews.
And he was posted where as a Swedish
He was
ambassador?
in Budapest, in Hungary, and during a short time there, managed to do a lot to save, like I said, tens of thousands of lives. Yeah.
So this year, what are the dates of Holocaust Education Month?
The program starts actually right at the end of October. The first program is October 30th, and then there's programs throughout the month of November, and the exhibit itself that I mentioned before goes all the way until January 6th. So we actually have months and months of Holocaust education this year, so we're fortunate to have a lot of programs.
Okay, can you tell us what your month starts with?
Sure. We start with a lecture by a visiting person from Anne Frank House in the Netherlands. She'll be doing a lecture that is open to the public free of charge on the evening of October 30th. And then the launch event for Holocaust Education Month is on Saturday, November 10th. And the theme is Raoul Wallenberg, and we have a special guest speaker coming to us from Yad Vashem in Jerusalem, Dr. Robert Rosette, who is the director of the Yad Vashem libraries, and he is the keynote speaker for that evening.
And will he be giving a description of the activities of Mr. Wallenberg?
Yes, he's going to be talking about Raoul Wallenberg and going into some detail about that. Yeah.
Other events happen on that night at the launch event. For instance, the teachers on. Can you talk about that?
Every single year during Holocaust Education Month, usually during the launch event, we honor a local teacher, a local educator who shows excellence, who has been working over the years to do Holocaust education in the classroom with students. It's usually a high school teacher, sometimes a middle school teacher, in Ottawa and surrounding areas, and we're looking forward to doing that again this year. The award is presented in memory of a man named Ari van Mansum, who is a righteous person. He was recognized as righteous among the nations for his work saving Jews during the Holocaust. And after the war, he moved here to Ottawa, so we have a local connection to him, and that is why the award is named after him.
Okay. The day before, on November 9th, there's a special ceremony, a commemoration happening in a local park.
That
Do you
is
want to talk about that?
There is a park in Ottawa, Raoul Wallenberg Park, located on Viewmount Drive, and the park already exists in the name of Raoul Wallenberg, and this year we're planting a tree in his memory to mark 100 years since his birth. And there'll be a ceremony that will begin at 1:30 in the afternoon. Anyone is welcome to attend, and we'll have various speakers and unveil this tree.
I know the Shoah Committee has put a lot of emphasis on educating educators.
Yes.
Can you explain why that's such a priority of the committee and what is happening this year?
Yeah, so it's not only enough to go out and educate the public, but a really good way of reaching people, and reaching people at a young age, is to do it through teachers. And so we try to bring together teachers from local area schools to participate in a teachers workshop. And it's our 4th year that we will do a teachers workshop, and we will have a variety of speakers. The topic again is Raoul Wallenberg, and one of the main things that we'll be doing there is preparing teachers to take their students through the exhibit, and I'll tell you about the exhibit. Like I said before, we're partnering with the Swedish Embassy, the Hungarian Embassy, and the Israeli Embassy to bring a special exhibit to the Canadian War Museum that is going to open on November 22nd and be there until January 6th. The exhibit itself is free of charge, and we are encouraging schools to sign up to bring their students through, and we will provide trained docents to lead them through a tour of the exhibit and to educate them about Raoul Wallenberg and do that. So the exhibit, we're trying to connect the exhibit to the teacher's workshop this year. And
so the docents are only there for a short period of time, though, correct? They're not there right till
the
January.
docent guided tours are only available between November 26th and December 7th for the 2 weeks. After that, the exhibit is there. People can go and visit, but there will be no guided tours available.
I'm going to put in a plug because I know that the March of the Living trip is also having an information night on November 4th. Sorry, November 14th. At 7 p.m. for students who will be in grades 10, 11, and 12 next year. So their parents and the students are welcome to come as well. And that's for the first time, I believe, part of
As
Holocaust.
part of Holocaust, an information session about the trip.
Great.
Yeah.
Sarah, quickly, why is it important, do you think, that so much work and effort goes in every year to commemorating the Holocaust?
Well, I think that we really want to impart to the next generation that genocide, that terrible things like that really shouldn't happen again. And if people say, never again, but it will happen again unless people are educated about what happened. And so we take it upon ourselves, the Holocaust Committee, to really go out there and try to educate people.
Well, you do a great job. Okay, I think we have to wrap up now. I want to thank you very much and wish you the best of luck in all your activities. I know you've been very busy. And we will put up on the screen the website that has the list of all the activities.
Sure.
Okay, and contact information as well for tickets. And everything is free as far as I know?
There are 2 events that require tickets, and you can purchase tickets at the front desk of the JCC and at the door of the events.
Okay. Sarah, thanks so much.
You're welcome.
Stay tuned and we'll be right back. Hi, welcome back to Shalom, Ottawa. We have a special treat for you today. Our guest is Mitchell Bellman, CEO and President of the Jewish Federation of Ottawa. And Mitchell, not too long ago, surprised everybody in the community by announcing his resignation. And I've invited Mitchell to come in and talk about that today. And thanks for coming in, Mitchell.
Thanks for having me.
So how many years have you been at the Federation?
Well, I've been working for the organization for 17 years, and I've been CEO for the last 15 years. It's been quite a while.
It has been quite a while, yeah. Why did you decide that this is the time for you to leave?
Well, it was not an easy decision to make, as you can appreciate, but I really, when I took the job, they asked me how long I thought I would do it for, and I said 10 years. 5 to 10 years, I think, was the answer I gave them. And 15 years had come around, and it went by very quickly. And I decided that I didn't think it was healthy for me or the organization to have me retire there. and work another 20 years. And I decided that the time was really right for me to look for something else and for them to look for a new professional leader, and that it would be healthy for both of us to do that in an open way, in a public way.
Right, right. What was the toughest part of making that decision?
Well, it's always tough to make a change. It takes some bit of courage to decide that you're going to leap out and look for new work. But when I looked deep inside myself and realized that's what I wanted to do, I felt that the best way was to come out publicly, tell my employer that, tell the community, and that way it would give me the time to go find the right job for the next challenge.
What do you think you'll miss most about working at the Federation?
There's so much that I'll miss. I'll miss the people I work with. There's wonderful people involved in the organization, both on the staff and on a volunteer basis. And there's really so many magical moments that I've been privileged to be part of, where we see the power of charitable giving, of a community coming together to help each other, of meeting some of the best minds in the Jewish world, hearing some great speeches, experiencing great moments that really are historical moments that I've been able to be witness of. And I'll miss really every aspect of it. I loved this work. I've loved the past 15 years, and I will miss it greatly.
What are you most proud of accomplishing as head of the Federation?
Well, that's a tough question to answer, because I never feel like I've accomplished anything. I feel like I've been able to bring together a team of people who've been able to do great things, and I've maybe been able to inspire volunteers to get involved and to work towards bettering the community. But I think that there's a lot that I'm proud of for the community. I'm proud of the fact that we were able to develop a new campus to really transform our community. I'm proud of the support we've shown to Israel in times of great joy and in times of great need. I'm proud of the many, many people I've taken to Israel on trips and been able to show them what Israel is all about and the complexities of life there. And I'm proud of the team of people that I've been able to work with. I'm really proud that the group of people really acts as a team, feels a sense of camaraderie and a sense of commitment to helping our community and the city of Ottawa do better.
What would you say was the greatest challenge that you faced?
Well, fundraising in general is a great challenge, and having to run an organization that depends on funds and always trying to come up with new programs and new ideas and new ways to inspire people to do good through charity. And that is a never-ending challenge, and it's one that takes a lot of energy and creativity and enthusiasm. So I think it's gotten harder, but really the truth is it was never easy. And so it's something that I think every charity would struggle with, is that you're dependent on people contributing voluntarily out of the goodness of their heart, and you've got to constantly inspire them and give them confidence in the organization that they're making a good investment.
In your time at the Federation, how have you seen the Jewish community change?
Well, I think there's been a tremendous transformation of the Jewish community. I think it was somewhat of a smaller, insular community. It had the feeling that everyone knew each other. It didn't have a sense of how rapidly it was growing, just like the city of Ottawa was rapidly growing. And it was not that, it was kind of sheepish about bragging about what it was doing. There was a lot of good work going on, but there was a feeling that it should stay within the bounds of the community. I think the community's really transformed to a recognition that it's growing very rapidly, that it's impossible to know everyone, and that the best way to engage people is to broadcast what we're doing to the entire city and to celebrate what we're doing, and through that to help draw in more and more people.
So let's look to the future.
Okay.
Do you have an idea of where you want to go from here?
I'm looking at a bunch of different opportunities. My first preference is to stay in Ottawa. We have, my wife and I have 3 young kids, and we'd like, their home is Ottawa, their home is in this community, and we'd like to stay here. And I'm trying to meet with as many people as I can to see if there's a good opportunity here in Ottawa. I leave it as a possibility that I'll go outside of Ottawa, and there are a lot of opportunities within the Jewish community and the Jewish world outside of Ottawa, but really I'd like to stay in the city.
So do you see yourself still continuing in community service, or is...
In some way, I'd like to still work in the charitable sector or in the community service sector. If the right opportunity presents itself. I'm also looking at government. It is a major employer in this town. And right now I've got a great arrangement with the Jewish Federation that I can continue to look while they search for someone.
Right.
And that process will take some time. So I really want to take my time to figure out what the best opportunity is.
Well, we hope you stay in Ottawa.
Thank
and we hope you continue to contribute to the Federation and to the community on a volunteer basis.
That's my hope.
Possibly. And I want to wish you the best of luck in your search.
Thank you very much,
in your job
Benita.
search, and we hope that your family continues to be a part of our community here.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you for watching Shalom Ottawa this month, and my name is Benita Simuticki. Please stay tuned next month and watch again. Take care. Bye-bye.
Seinen alle Brüder, oi, oi, alle Brüder, in mir singen fröhliche Lieder, oi, oi, oi. Und wir halten sich in einem, oi, oi, sich in einem, als solches ist nicht über keinem, oi, oi, oi. Ai, 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 ai. Ay 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 ay. In mir halten sich in einem, oi oi, sich in einem, wir wissen viel zu wenig, oi oi oi. Und wir lieben sich doch alle, oi oi, sich doch alle, wie Achusen mit der Kalle, oi oi oi. Ay 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 ay. In mir seinen freilich munter, oi oi, freilich munter, in Lieder tanzen unter, oi oi oi. Und wir seinen alle Schwester, oi oi, alle Schwester, also wie Ruchel, Russin, Esther, oi oi oi. Ay 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 ay